Ever since the late 90s, M. Night Shyamalan has been blowing minds, and he disappeared for a little bit after, his insane rise to fame, and then he kind of dwindled down a little bit, and he came back, and he's been on this slow rise. And now we are at the eve, I guess you would say, of Trapped coming out, and we have seen it tonight. So hang tight, and we will review it. Warning. The following show features reviews from wildly unprofessional critics operating without the supervision of professionals. The thoughts and opinions held by these individuals are not to be taken seriously and do not come from a place of intellectual integrity. This show doesn't reflect the opinions of Criticless or its users. Viewer discretion is advised. What's up? What's up? What is up, everybody? Hello and welcome to another episode of Criticless Cast Unhinged. We are back, and today we are going to be talking about the directed by M. Night Shyamalan film Trapped. This is starring Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donoghue, and Saleka, which is the daughter of M. Night Shyamalan, which none of us realized was in this film and didn't find out until the end credits. So we're going to go ahead and dig into things, or maybe Chris over here is pretending like he knew all along, introducing Mr. Chris Kaus.
Oh, hello.
So you knew all along?
No, I mean, from the beginning of the movie.
Shut your mouth.
I saw in...
Don't lie.
Okay, we just getting into it? We
no, don't start the review.
Okay.
And Mr. Maverlack.
What's up, everybody?
And today we are coming to you hot and heavy, super ready, because we are all a little baked and buzzed, and we're just ready to chit chat. It's been a little while because we came.
Been a while.
It has been a while, and I was on my my great disappearance, I guess one could call, and we came back last week, and I was just not firing on all cylinders, but I'm back and we're here, and I'm excited to talk about this movie. And so we are going to do a spoiler-free review of this. And now in this spoiler-free review, we are probably not even going to talk too much about the plot, simply because I would tell you right now, do not watch the trailer for this film.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer is, in my opinion, a pretty decent-sized spoiler. All you really need to know is the actual theme of the film, which is we have on Criticless as just a single line, which I'll read out. But so anyways, we're going to do a spoiler-free review and then a spoiler-free review. And so we'll let you know when that happens in case you need to bail out and don't want this movie spoiled for you, but we'll at least give you our upfront thoughts. So let's go ahead and dig into it, guys.
Yeah.
So what is written about this film as far as what it actually entails is it says a father and teen daughter attend a pop concert where they realize they're at the center of a dark, sinister event. And I think that is all you need to know.
Accurate.
And I also think that the trailer, the biggest bit that is shown in the trailer, I definitely think should have been let out and could have, or left out and could have been done without it in the trailer.
Which part?
I think.
No.
I'm not going to say it. That's a good spoiler.
I was waiting for it, and I was like, okay, say it.
Say the thing. Do it.
That's why I had my hand up. I was like, don't.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. So Matt's like, tell us the spoiler.
So what was the spoiler?
No.
In the spoiler-free episode.
Yeah. So we're just going to go ahead and give our upfront thoughts here about this movie. That's all we're really going to say about what entails this movie. We'll get into the details and walk our way through it when we get into the review itself. But I want to hear these guys' opinions. Actually, Chris, I feel like probably would be potentially the most critical of a film like this out of this bunch.
Yeah, seriously. You can tell by the mustache.
Right.
Yes. I'm a
critical.
Pretty well established critic in these parts. Everybody knows that I know a lot of things about.
What about this movie? What about this movie?
This movie, no, I enjoyed it. Actually,
you like it?
Yeah,
sweet.
It's weird. I kind of cooled off as it went along.
Right.
But I enjoyed it overhaul.
Nice.
Overhaul.
Critical scale, is this a decent, middle range or rad?
Rad is before excellent. I would
Yes.
be I would
rad?
put in the rad.
Rad,
Yeah.
just not most excellent.
Correct.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
I
about what I
think
thought.
It's probably going to be, I was thinking crispy.
Oh, that's a deep cut for the film if you haven't seen it. So
I'm one of the kids.
yeah, you're down with the lingo.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to say jelly anymore, you know?
Right. Of course.
You
So-
learned your lesson.
So this is rad territory for you.
Yes. Yeah, I kind of was kind of going between most excellent and rad.
Yeah, that's
Like Chris said, there was some points where I was like, well, maybe this is more rad, and I was like, well, maybe it's more
Right.
excellent. But then I thought about it. I think I'm a high rad.
high red.
Yeah.
That's what I told your wife before I walked
Oh,
in
yeah?
for me too. Dude, that would have made a great joke. That's what I told you right before I walked in here. Oh man, that was a great joke. Yeah, that it was. Yeah, I would say like upper rad, lower most excellent for me.
Okay.
I was hovering in that range, but
Yep.
like you, let me just go ahead and say I mentioned it before, but Josh Hartnett's in this movie. The dude's a fucking rock star. I love him. I just love watching him. I love his lovely face.
Yeah.
I just love the man.
Yeah.
Like he's great.
Yeah. He's another one of those actors. Carl Urban would have been in this like listing
Right.
before
The boys and everything.
but he used to just be like that, where he wasn't in a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but when he was in something, you were like, fuck yes,
Mhm.
I'm buckling down. I'm gonna love the shit out of this.
Agreed.
Okay, on that, which I don't know.
You
This
can
could
talk
be
about it
something we can
without
get into.
spoilers. But
No, it has nothing to do with spoilers.
Okay.
But do you think that would have the same? Is it the Ryan Reynolds effect though? Do you think that if we saw him in a shit ton of stuff, a poop ton of
Right.
stuff,
Yep.
like would we have the same feelings towards him?
Or would we be tired of
I
seeing
feel
it,
like
or-
we appreciate the absence.
Mhm.
Right,
Absence makes the heart grow.
Oh,
It does.
wow.
Well, and honestly, I mean, really what it comes down to is if you were a 90s kid, Josh Hartnett was one of the teen heartthrob guys.
For sure.
And then he very quickly, like he did, maybe it was like 30 Days a Night or something. Like he did some like indies. He did Lucky Number 11.
Right.
Like he left
Yeah.
teen heartthrob really quick and went to like indie freaking like really good indie shit.
Yeah.
And I think that that's kind of the thing for like almost perfectly settled our age bracket of people.
Right.
You know, where it's like 90s kids or late 80s kids, like in that bracket, a little bit younger than him.
Yeah.
And we've kind of grown up with him, and now we're just like, this dude needs to be in more. Like he's just, he's great to watch. And so
Agreed.
I love him in it. I also thought that Saleka, who's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, I thought she did an excellent job. Actually, she's in the movie a lot more than I expected. I don't want to say too much or reveal spoilers, but I did like her in this movie. Chris is making a face like he did not like her. in
This is
movie.
my normal face.
Yeah, this is my normal
I always
face.
look like
Yeah, you always look like that.
Okay. Well, I had the opposite reaction.
Really? So you weren't as crazy about her performance? And
No.
Okay.
She was El Robato.
oh,
That's El the Robot. Non-Spanish.
Yeah. of
But
course.
yeah, no,
You thought she was
Aren't all pop singers robots?
she
Right.
was not a pop singer. She was in this movie.
Yes.
Exactly. So she's
Yeah.
perfectly
Oh, right, I
personifying
forgot.
robots.
Matt can't separate
Yeah.
reality from me. Sorry. My mistake. No, it's pretend.
Yes.
It's lying for fun.
Yeah.
But
I thought you did a good job.
okay.
And she's
well,
pretending to be somebody who's
Somebody
pretending to be a robot on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
whoa.
Oh.
Matt was way over your head on this.
Bro,
I was
You
like,
thought Matt was
I was
being
3
dumb,
miles
and he was
high.
being
You're
chill.
down here digging in the dirt.
The
Yeah.
dumb one.
You are the dumb one. I was gonna say it, but I was gonna let Matt
I
just
came
go
to
ahead
Yeah.
and serve it up.
Gotta go higher, man.
Yeah.
Okay. She's pretending
Yeah.
to be a bad actress.
Yeah. Oh, we're
She was like,
the
oh,
meta right
yes.
now. Is the meta? Can't
All
even,
right.
bro.
So listen, we're gonna go ahead and break down the themes on this movie because we are definitely gonna get off the rails if I do not keep this in line. So as far as our themes go, and if you're kind of debating on going to see this in the theaters, graphic language, there isn't much language in this. I don't remember a whole lot that's said.
Yeah.
Literally
Not a lot.
zero.
I'm not sure
that
that
might
there's
actually
anything.
be none.
That's
Surprisingly.
We're gonna put that somewhere in the none range. As violence, I would say maybe a bit to a bit more.
A bit.
A bit,
I
max.
think.
Not a lot shown really at all.
Right.
What?
I don't wanna
wait,
spoil
wait,
it,
wait,
so we gotta
Okay,
be
there is that
careful.
one thing.
There is some things that happen, but it's not.
Maybe a bit more.
Definitely not a bit more. A bit.
Okay, fine. A bit. I don't
We'll
even
say
think-
in between the two. All right. So and then nudity,
but still
sexual
not a bit more,
content.
so.
Zero.
Nothing.
None.
Except for Josh Hartnett's sexy.
Yeah. His sick
Oh, yeah.
torso.
Yeah.
You do
The
get some
hair flip
torso.
at the end.
Bring
yeah.
out the heartthrob in 2 places.
Hurriedly dance.
Yeah. So for all you Josh Hartnett hard-ons, this will be perfect for you. The hard-ons,
Yeah.
as they call
It's
you.
good.
We need to find that club
Yeah, I like
and
that. Yeah,
create
the
it or
hard,
tell
the
them.
hard-ons. Yep.
Nailed it. It's really good for people with a speech impediment.
It is.
We're all welcome.
So political bias, I'd say none. There wasn't really anything political in this movie at all.
Except for police state
Yes,
motherfuckers.
freaking cops. There's a lot
Yeah,
of fucking
like-
cops.
But,
And somebody, well,
it's-
I won't say that's kind of a spoiler.
Yeah, I know. We got to be careful.
but no bias.
All right. So as far as family friendliness, I would honestly put this in the maybe realm.
I'd put it in a maybe.
It's going to be up to your discretion. Like, honestly, I would probably let my 10, 11-year-old daughter watch this.
Yeah.
Like, very little is shown. It's honestly, I think she'd love it. I would let a young kid see this.
Yeah. Like, I feel like y'all had recommended a family-friendly movie recently that was like an actual labeled as horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an actual horror.
It was Alien, actually. No, probably that you're thinking of, and we let her watch
Mhm.
Alien. But
Well,
Well,
it's a classic.
no, not Alien. It was like a movie that came out
yeah,
recently
okay,
that
Signs.
that we had talked about.
yeah.
Yes, Signs. Whenever we reviewed Signs, in
There's a recent film that
2000
just came out.
It fits our thing because I think it was critically loved, not audience hated.
It might be, yeah. That would be, yeah, we'll have to look at that. So that's our themes broken down for this and kind of our surface level thoughts. We're going to go ahead and get into the review, the spoiler portion wise, because this is one you don't want spoiled for you, really, I don't think. Now, I will say that this isn't a typical M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like, don't be, oh God, I don't think this is spoilery. I'm trying to decide if it,
I just
Trying
let
to
them
hit
find out
these.
themselves.
yeah. But I guess that's the best way to call it. It's not a typical Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
We'll just
Spoilers.
leave it at that. Maybe.
Is it?
It might be.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, all right. Spoilers all the way down. Bail out if you do not want this movie ruined for you. All right. So, with this movie, it kicks off, and unfortunately, we had seen the trailers,
Mm-hmm.
and so we knew
Except
that
Chris over there.
Chris,
Smoking
kind of, well,
doobies
yeah.
and stuff.
Anybody who's seen the trailer knew at least to some degree, Josh Hartnett was going to be presented as the killer, as the local like serial killer that's being hunted at this concert. And they do pretty much fully out that in the trailer, from what I remember.
Oh, do they?
Yes, yes.
I remember it being like they're looking for a killer in the building, and
Well,
I
yeah,
took away from it that he was, but I
Yeah.
was like, well, maybe I'm just reading.
well, they
into it.
literally are talking about there being a killer, and they show him looking at his phone with somebody in his basement.
Oh, I don't
You
remember.
see
Yeah,
that in the trailer.
Yeah, they show that in the trailer.
Jeez.
Yes.
So I did. Whenever we got here, I asked your wife because she asked me what I thought about it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I
Wait,
Ayo.
sorry, digging up the old joke. Sorry,
okay.
It's sorry.
Boomer. No, so I asked her what her, because she wanted to know what I thought about it. I didn't want to spoil anything
Yeah.
or lead her astray. So I just asked her, I was like, so what did you think about the trailer? I was like, what did you imply from it? And she literally said that they showed in the trailer. She was like, there was a serial killer trapped in an arena.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, damn, like
Yeah,
they
they gave
really
the full
just,
plot.
they do it.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
and I think that there was a way for them to market this movie without showing that he was the killer,
Yeah.
and that maybe that they had painted it out in a way in which it looked like he was like trying to catch the killer.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah,
And I was like, I doubt this is the case.
I think Chris thought that there was going to be like a hidden secret and that he wasn't actually the killer or something. Is that I'm guessing?
You can go ahead first.
Oh,
He was
oh,
asking you, so you
Yeah.
go
oh,
first.
well, I mean,
You're fine.
yeah,
Yeah. Did you think that they were going to pull like a deal where he wasn't the killer?
I did. And
Okay.
so this kind of ties into something else that I wanted to mention. But
Yeah.
yeah, my thoughts on it, whenever I leaned over to you and I was
Yeah.
like, I have an idea of what the twist is.
Right.
I wanted to put that in stone at that time so you knew I wasn't lying. But
Right.
I was wrong 100%. I thought that the twist was that Josh Hartnett had trapped the killer
killer.
in his basement because
right.
he had done something to his kids.
Right.
Because like the way that he was
Oh, that would have been cool.
viscerally reacting to like the photos
Right.
of like the kids. Whenever he saw or not kids, I just assumed they were kids because it was at a playground. There was like a bunch of
Yeah, his
body
kills, yeah.
bags.
Yeah.
No, no, body bags at a playground.
Oh no, that was someone in pieces. That was body
Ah,
parts.
one of
I
his
just, because they
kills.
were
Yeah.
small. I thought they were like a bunch of kids or something.
Oh,
and he
okay.
could-
Oh,
No, it was
that
body
makes more
parts.
yes.
But I
they're
thought
laid
that-
out like a body. Like,
Yeah,
But
but I
Yeah.
thought that like something happened to someone he loved, and so he caught the killer, and the killer's who he had on
oh,
in the
yeah.
basement. I thought
Okay.
that was going to be the twist, but that brings up the point of where it's a spoiler to say it's not typical
True.
Shyamalan.
True. Right.
Because in
I can see
my
that.
mind, I was fully going into this being like, all right, they were too forthcoming with everything. Too much
Mhm.
was revealed in the trailer. There has to be some shenanigans
Yeah.
that M. Night's pulling, and there's actually going to be a twist. And we're in spoiler section, so yeah, like you
You're
said,
right.
it's not M. Night Shyamalan typical twist
Yes.
of a movie. So
Right. And you're kind of prepared. You've almost got taught by watching his stuff to wait
Yeah.
for a bigger twist.
that's
Yeah.
exactly.
And so, but I don't know if you guys remember, we reviewed way back in the day on Critically Aroused. We did the movie Old, and that was kind of a similar situation.
that was
Yeah.
M. Night.
Yep,
It's
that
an
was him as
escape
well.
room scenario.
Yeah, and that one they let out the twist similar to this, and there wasn't really like much of a twist. It was just kind of the hook.
And they really become like sci-fi dramas.
Yeah, he's
not
pivoted.
Like surprise. It's
Right.
like this is a unique situation.
Right.
Here's the movie.
And here's an interesting story. And so that's what I wanted to get at is like, I guess with the stuff that we liked and didn't like and whatever,
Yeah.
I really loved the original concept of this. The original idea of like, I haven't seen anything like this. You know, it was kind of almost like Matt said, the escape room vibe of kind of how the movie Old was that he did, in a sense of them trying to figure out how to get off that island. Similar to this, the whole early portion of him being trapped in this concert arena with an unknown, like not real music artist with completely original music that wasn't bad,
Yeah.
like that, like was in this huge concert venue and like had the scale, had Josh Hartnett moving in and out around this amphitheater or whatever you want to call it, a coliseum. It was just it's so cool. Like I haven't seen anything like this, and seeing him work his way out, and then also it's like it lives up to his name throughout the movie, which is what I liked too.
Yeah.
Like it's a constant situation of being trapped, just being trapped in different areas, and sometimes different people being trapped, like the singer being trapped in the bathroom, or there was just constantly people being trapped.
And that was one thing I took away from it. It was constantly this sense just sitting over you of like, oh man, like I'm a little more on guard while we're watching this movie because he's like trapped, and you just feel it, even if you don't think about it.
Right,
like
the
that,
suspense
but
of it.
You're just on the edge of your seat, just going, okay,
what's next?
What's next? Yeah, because it's like, oh, this is gonna be it. Nope. This is gonna be it. Nope.
Oh, he can't get out through the floor. He's gonna walk into this room with all these police in there, and then just like brazenly walk through the middle of them, like, "Hey guys, what's up? Getting coffee." Like, and that's the other thing that I like about this movie so much is just its sense of humor. And I think that a lot of people that aren't gonna like this movie, part of it is going to be because they did not understand the tone.
Yeah.
And I felt like this movie was actually quite self-aware and leaned into the humor regularly. Like I think that the things that were funny were intentionally funny. And I think that there will be people that don't see it that way.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like there are also kind of a lot of like dad jokes.
Right.
Which were like, because you and I laughed a lot.
You're right.
In this movie that was full of
so
suspense.
goobery.
And I wonder if that's a way to like discharge like that trap feeling.
Right.
What do you think about down there, Chris?
Chris is like deep in thought. He's trying to we're opening his mind to a whole new realm that he did not even realize.
No, it was Matt said discharge.
Yep.
Again.
Okay. Yeah. That's his word of the night before starting the show as well. He's just really, there's something about Matt and discharges. He's got to
He's starting
discharging all over the place.
Yes, he's discharging.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah.
But Matt and the discharges.
To finish that idea, I just think that's why we laugh so much. It like gives you this trap feeling. You're released.
Right.
Because you laugh a little bit.
Right.
And you're like getting trapped in a new situation.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting, I think it's something that really fucks with your fight or flight. Just
there
is. For me, it did anyways. Chris, I don't know if that affected you. Blaine, it kind of seems like you had a similar reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember, like, there's no notable funny parts. Like, I know I chuckled through some of it, and I heard Blaine chuckle at the same time I was chuckling.
So we're all chuckling at the same time then.
Chris just values chuckles on a different scale.
Yeah. I don't, there wasn't, I don't know, that didn't stick out to me as, like, a memorable.
A lot of it was just his facial expressions and stuff. And, like, it would just shift so quick, and he'd just be, like, super goofy and just say some, like, really dumb shit.
Yeah.
And like clearly intentionally dumb.
Yeah.
And like whether it be dad joke like Matt was saying or whatever. And it just like was regularly happening. He's like, when I'm not a superhero, when I'm not a serial killer, I'm just this goofy goober, just a dad, silly dad. Like and that's kind of like what he really was, but he was also fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And so I really like that balance and what they did here and what Josh Hartnett did. And when I was talking earlier with Zena, I was telling her, I was like, part of me wants to give this a most excellent rating as like a participation trophy, just for like how self-aware and fun the movie was having.
Yeah.
And like the fact of, so the way that I kind of was thinking about it throughout was, I was like, what this movie is this is a what if series finale for Dexter. This is a what if Dexter got older, had kids, like, or a little bit of time went by, like had grown kids, was married, had the family, and then what if the police caught him? Like that's literally what this movie is. Like he's kind of a Dextery character outside of killing people for good kind of thing.
Sure.
Like, but it's just kind of like, what if this goobery serial killer that's like the regular guy, what if they just catch him? And it very much kind of fell in that Dexter world to me.
I can see that. That's a good way to put it.
So, which I know, Chris, I don't think you ever watched Dexter. Did you really?
I watched the first series or the first season on HBO way back in the back time, Showtime, whatever it was. One of those
Showtime.
Fancy ones. That
one I didn't have.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Okay.
Only saw the first one, nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, I love Dexter. This very much has those vibes. This is how his killer's kind of portrayed. And I think he did a great job at that. Now, part of me, actually, I had wondered near the end where he meets up with his wife and he's sitting in the room, or well, it was before he was sitting in the room where we don't know where he comes in. I had wondered if it was going to be that his wife was in on it, that his wife was a killer too.
Dude, I had the same idea. That was the twist I thought.
Yes, that was the twist I thought.
And I really thought when he was sitting there with the knife, she would turn around and be like, what took you so long?
Right.
Or like, why'd you get sloppy?
Yeah.
So I'm like, something along those lines.
That's exactly what I was expecting. And then when I was like, oh, he's still bad. Like, now I didn't think that there was going to be any twist with him, because very early on, we see Josh Hartnett just like push this Asian girl down some stairs and she eats a shit sandwich. Like, it was freaking brutal, and everybody, and he's just like, he just looks around, he's like,
because he's still smiling at that point. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna walk
too
around
much
now.
to drink.
Yeah. He just would like regularly be doing like some crazy ass shit with a goobery look on his face. And it just happened throughout the movie. And I kind of loved it. Like,
and then at the end where he's like, you think keeping my two lives are separate is easy?
Right.
And he kind of like snapped right there. And I was thinking about that. I wonder if we saw that in the movie where he was being goobery, but also doing these things. So I wonder if that was supposed to be something with like two split personalities.
Right.
But they were crossing over because he was feeling trapped.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it was all about, the monster is what he referenced many times. So obviously there was a separate part of him that he recognized that is the part that enjoys murder.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a two-person situation.
Yeah. So I mean,
and one of them.
I was just gonna say, were y'all bummed, I guess, with Matt predicting it being the wife? Like, did you want a twist? Are you okay without there being the twist, being that that's what he's known for?
You know what the twist I wanted?
What's that?
Was that he actually killed his wife.
Oh, right.
He kills himself too.
Oh, wow.
And I wish this was more R and not PG-13. Like I didn't
know it was PG-13.
It's PG-13. Yeah, there's no blood, there's no guts.
Yeah.
We see the one eye get his eyes. We see the one guy gets, but they don't like pop out or anything. So they're just like this.
And you just hear like a.
Yeah, and then you see him get tased like 4 times. So what I actually wanted was him to like either kill the pop star, and that's how he got popped.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted then. And then the movie progressed. I was like, okay, well, no, maybe the wife too.
Right.
And he gets his murder-suicide.
Yeah.
Or like he like murders her and then cop suicide or something. That's what I wanted.
Right.
And I wanted like this bloody like finale.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been really cool. And I think it would have helped make the movie better, possibly.
Yeah.
If they had gone really hardcore with it there at the end. I was kind of hoping, even after they got caught, I'm like, maybe we could see him like kill a couple of people. Like, but like, so do you think that obviously he's done the like semi-franchise with Glass and Split and Unbreakable and everything? Like, do you think that he's building for another one of these? Or do you think that with the way that this ended and him breaking himself loose and maniacally like looking crazy as shit?
Had a crazy face for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would like it. Yeah. I think I would enjoy it. Yeah. I want him to do it.
I can't remember. Somebody on Criticless was telling me the rumor was that this was in that world.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
And he didn't have any sort of like special powers except maybe luck.
Right.
Or unlucky. I don't know.
Right.
Oh, it's luck.
Luck.
Sure.
He definitely seemed to have like high luck.
Yeah. He just kept stumbling into.
So what if that's his power?
Right.
They find out that he is just lucky. Like he escapes somehow out of the back of that armored truck at the very end, and they do make another movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, it does make it. Dude, I would love that.
Yeah.
I love the Unbroken Split Glass
I do too.
universe.
I do too.
Yeah.
I like them. and I think he's done a great job with those, and I think it was a good return for him.
Yeah.
I don't know, this movie, I found it really fun, and almost even with how kind of suspenseful and everything it was, kind of lighthearted at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's a hard balance to ride. And I don't know, like, this was a fun time at the movie theaters, and it's just not what I was expecting. It's not what I expect from Shyamalan.
Mhm.
But also at the exact same time, like, I mean, yeah, it wasn't like a most excellent movie for me, but like, that's okay. Like, some movies don't have to be most excellent. They don't have to be the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Right. And like, well, that's kind of why we have that middle ground there. And I think that it is also still very memorable. Like, I will not forget this movie.
So then to ask, we've talked about some of the stuff we liked.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this not a most excellent? What brings you off of that ledge?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think for me, it's just some of those twists and things that it could have taken, or when it could have pushed those boundaries and done some kills, or, you know, leaned into him being a killer and like really showed us that. I think that missing is kind of what takes its edge away.
Okay.
And what keeps it from most excellent.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
For me, like I've realized that there's a weird scale that I have for M. Night.
Sure.
That doesn't hold for everybody else.
Okay.
If I had watched this movie and I knew it was directed by somebody other than M. Night, I would have liked it less.
Okay.
I liked it more because I was expecting a twist, but I didn't get what I expected, and so I enjoyed that. It's really like counterintuitive whenever you think about it.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, so it's defying the predictable. And for me, M. Night is still predictably a twisty kind of turvy guy.
Yeah,
right.
So whenever he doesn't do that, even though he hasn't done that in many movies, like I understand that's like an unfair stereotype that I've placed on him, but it's just what my childhood is made up of.
Right.
Or not childhood. You know, my memory of him is of him making twists of things. So so I'm constantly expecting that. And so whenever he doesn't meet those expectations, I enjoy it because it's unexpected. So it's kind of a weird thing. So like, had this, like I said, been any other director, I'd have been like, yeah, this is a super predictable movie. It's boring, blah, blah, blah. Like, I wouldn't have liked it nearly as much as I do now, because I'm constantly on my seat. Even as I just pointed out to, you know, or not just, but as I pointed out to Blaine during the movie, I was like, this is where the twist is. This is where the twist is going to be. Like, I was trying to predict it. So like the whole movie, I have this different outlook on it.
Right. Your brain is constantly predicting
to figure things out.
And I think that's because we're seeking that unexpected. Yeah. And that's where he, you know, it's interesting because it's a natural progression. Like, we want that feeling. Right. And we've learned, it's like a learned thing. We learned that he had twists. So now, through our learning, we are expecting a twist, but in the seeking that by guessing it and being wrong is like the extra seeking that surprise.
It almost adds to the interest of it, because you're hyper watching the movie, knowing that it's him. So yeah, that is an interesting perspective. And man, honestly, one of the things that I was saying earlier about Saleka that I wanted to bring up was the bit about just in general liking what she was doing. And I think that it's super cool that they made this pop star. She performed the songs from what it looked like in the song list, like did all of these ridiculous performances that felt like something that one of these big time pop stars would do. Like, this actually seems like it would also be very appealing to that like Taylor Swift crowd, that like all of the people that are into all that type of stuff. Like, this would be a very fun movie if those people were allowed to discover this. Like, you know what I mean? If they stumble into it.
If their boyfriend takes them, because you know, they're like, yeah, we're gonna go see this movie, Shyamalan's newest movie, and the girls, I don't know, I don't care. But then they get hooked because of that. If they're not already into
element, like, and whatever,
into this movie,
Yeah, I mean, it's true. She did. I thought that there was 100% a actual vocal artist that was singing all the songs, but according to the credits, she is credited
the voice
for
artist. She is the vocal artist.
All of the song credits were
and the songs weren't bad. Like, and she did. There's a portion where she plays piano and sings and whatever, and like all that. It was more raw. So it's just like, I commend them for doing that, because it's like, I'm watching it, I was sitting there thinking about it, and while they were in the concert, and I'm just like, they had to pack this place out. Yeah.
This feels real.
It feels real. Like they had to. You didn't think it felt real? Did you? Oh, okay. That was your very judgy face, Chris.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it felt real, but I think that the CGI people did a very good
You think
job.
that was CGI?
For the most of the crowd? Yeah, I can
No.
I can promise you, I will give you $1, one shiny dollar, a dollar coin.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So you think a lot of it was
actual full stadium? I can promise you, it was not. They did not hire
all
20,000
those extras? Well,
It was
I thought about it.
100%, but it been most
But
of
it's
it was
only
in the
half a
dark.
stadium, really.
It was only like half a stadium. You don't really know how big it is. My thought was, I was like, what if they literally, because this would not be hard to do for extras, is they're like, she's going to perform. Like this, we're going
You
to,
just have to be here all day.
yeah, you just have to
Constantly
be,
cheering. What they probably do is that half of them are like foam people, because you don't
Right.
really need
all of the
all.
seats filled
That's
out
like
or whatever.
in Star Wars Episode 1 in the pod racing scene.
Yeah.
Like the bleachers are real,
Right.
but they're Q-tips
Right.
that they like just do a layer of CGI over to like.
Yeah.
And it could be something like that. Either way, it was believable enough. I
Yeah.
was like, this looks
Yeah, that's
great.
high
Like,
praise.
yeah, it feels like a concert. It feels like he's there. Like they clearly were able to at least pack out areas of this stadium and make it have this feel and this look. And I thought it was really well achieved, regardless of how they did it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was saying all
I
that
know
just
what
to
you
say that it was a feat. Like
Right.
anybody who feels that it is real,
Right.
Yeah.
obviously they've accomplished their mission.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring up two. We didn't bring it up, but if you didn't catch it, there's a person with, and this comes back to the intentionally funny parts of the movie, is when Kid Cudi first shows up and he has long gray hair and he's literally like, I told you I was lactose intolerant. He's like, you gave me milk when you trying to make me doo-doo my drawers. It was just like,
I had no idea what he said.
Yeah. Well, I no idea who it was.
Yeah.
I had both actually.
Oh.
So you didn't know what he said or what?
No. Blaine just leans over to Chris and is laughing. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
guy just turned on the screen and mumbled something.
Yeah, he said something about being lactose intolerant and asking if they wanted to make him doo-doo his jeans.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
You could point out any long white-haired black dude and say that was Kid Cudi, and I would have believed you.
Mm.
I had no idea what Kid Cudi.
and then
was.
once he started singing, I was like, it's definitely him. Like,
Yeah.
I was pretty sure. And then they showed him more later. And even the scene, like, there was a whole scene with him and Josh Hartnett, like, very quick, where he's walking down the hallway and he's like flirting at him and he's like, it's like, just super goofy.
Well, then like Josh's response was a typical dad response
Right.
too, and he was like,
oh, okay.
and like as a dad, I'm like, yep,
That's
right.
It would have been just that weird. So yeah, it was just like those moments I think that make this movie special.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, these little attention to detail and just like being okay being a serious movie like this, but being silly. And I thought that all of that was achieved really well. And I mean, yeah, like it didn't do everything I wanted it to. It didn't have the big twist, whatever. But like, it doesn't mean it wasn't fun. Like I thought that also as it got kind of darker and grittier and it turned into this nighttime thing, like the whole tone of the movie even changed a little bit.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it just, yeah.
And then I think that was really when he goes on the run.
Right.
It turns from like this, he's the hunter,
Yes.
light tone,
Right.
and then it gets the dark
Being the
tones. He's
hunter.
on the run. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. Now
Yeah.
to put that together in a smart way.
There you go.
Very smart.
Also, violent moment. He cranks up a stove and puts some oil in the glass in there, and it exploded and turned a girl into Scarface. So
Yep.
she got jacked up.
Yeah.
She was bowled alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was kind of one of the more violent-esque moments, but it's really still
And the other dude got his eyes gouged out.
gouged out, and then they showed the little body parts and stuff. But
And
it was a very mild serial killer movie. Chris just can't
Like,
see, so he
I
doesn't
don't
spot all the
understand
body parts.
y'all's like your spectrum,
Right.
the spectrum that you all are on.
For violence.
100% on the spectrum.
Yes.
The spectrum, though.
Yes.
Like I'm pretty sure it was like tarot or something that y'all
Right.
were like, oh yeah, I'd let my 8-year-old watch this, and it's just
Right.
like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like super horror-y,
But
Right.
no, there's scary moments. I definitely think that one's for upper, maybe like 9, 10-year-olds.
I can't say for certain
like,
that
You wouldn't let a 10-year-old watch that?
Dude,
Maybe a 13.
Okay.
I'm still at the point in my life where you mention anybody underage, and I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with it. If it's not my family and I'm
Good.
hanging out with them, like, nah. But no, like, I wouldn't. Like, I don't. Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, that movie isn't very scary,
Right.
or horror,
or violent.
But I'm just saying, in comparison to this movie, where there's literally zero blood,
Yeah.
there's none.
There's blood boils on
But
her
violent
face.
acts are in different ways.
Right.
This is still
I
violent.
love how every week this really just comes down to the major point of this podcast. We're just gonna call it the Hyper Violence Analyzation Podcast Show. Because it's just us fighting about what violence entails. What is violence?
Look, we are
Gouging
philosophers.
somebody's eyeballs out is
that's what it is.
violent act.
They've really
You see 2 seconds of that, and there's no blood, there's no sound, as Blaine tried to say that
there was a squishy crunch.
no squishy
There was a squishy
that was in
crunch.
your brain, brother.
It was in his brain as his eyeballs
Oh,
were
you-
squishing.
Fingers.
So, question is, we haven't done it in a little bit. Do we think we should see what the critics think about this movie?
Sure. It's
So,
Shyamalan.
yeah,
I don't know what they think.
I am very interested
Share this with
because,
everybody.
like Matt said, with it being Shyamalan, I'm trying not to see any spoilers for any other movies. But it seems that I'm okay. There we go. I found. Oh no, I don't want a trailer.
Oh, dude. This is
Golly,
embarrassing.
wild. Oh, okay. There we go. I have seen the
There
score.
it is.
And critics have given it a 48. It said 50, but then when I clicked into it, it said 48. Now, this is only by 21 critics. This is not many.
Yep.
So right now, 50-50 split with how Rotten Tomatoes works. They do not have a critics consensus yet, but here's a top critic splat and a top critic solid who gave it a B+ was the solid. He gave it a D. That was Adam Graham with Detroit News. Said a silly jumble of half ideas that confounds at every turn. It's cut off. Shyamalan usually waits for a twist ending to topple. I wish this wasn't cut off. Oh God! Now they bring me this doofus's entire review. Never mind. This is great, great entertainment here,
Can I
folks.
just
Anyway,
say, what an idiot.
what an
What an
idiot.
idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's complaining because that it was half baked because there wasn't a twist.
Right.
Right.
That was another person.
You're putting
similar
your
to
own
me.
expectations onto this film.
You're expecting a twist.
Right.
But in my case, I appreciated the
Right.
absence of a twist.
So,
In
yeah.
his case, he was disappointed.
Right. He was. And
What
he
a
basically just said
doofus.
this time he's off the rails right from the very start. So they didn't like it. It's literally a 50-50 split between solids and splats. It seems like, like this one here, this is somebody from robertebert.com. Josh Hartnett almost makes Trap worth seeing, imbuing his character with a playfulness that can be captivating. It's just a shame his great work sometimes feels trapped in a movie that doesn't know what to do with it.
That's the meta of this movie.
Right,
bruh.
right. And that's
Come
the thing.
on.
And that was kind of what we called, was that we felt like a lot of people were going to not see the meta of it. Now, the funny thing is we have 3 reviews in Criticless, and they are quite all over the place. The very first one from Mort Leamer gave it an 84. He really liked it.
Yeah.
And he's hyping up Josh Hartnett and basically just calling it, an inventive cat and mouse game, and to calling it a fun ride. So it sounds like Mort Leamer really liked this a pretty good bit. And I, can't argue with an 84.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a terrible review. Now we have a 58 and a very unsurprising 20% from Myth Vex Electronica, who hates everything. Vexy Vex hates it. She did give it some positives, like Josh Hartnett being in this as well. She liked him, but basically she just thinks that every other performance was bad. She wasn't crazy about, she said the daughter is all right, but the singer, Lady Raven, has all the charm of an anemic wet napkin.
Yeah.
So,
brother, that's what I haven't even gotten on that train yet.
Yeah.
But no, I agree.
She is
100%.
a teeny tiny little lady. So, and then Alison Pill, she said anemic. Alison Pill, who
It's blood related.
Oh, that is blood, not skin.
not size. That's
size. She was
bulimic.
tiny. Oh, that
Not
is bulimic.
anemic.
Anemic.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But she was very
got
tiny
you,
though.
bud.
She was small. She was like really, really small.
Sure. Yeah.
She's
All
small.
right.
But-
Okay, let's not size.
What does
shame.
blood have to do with a blooding?
Anemic? Well,
It's a very weird.
Well, isn't that an iron problem?
yeah.
Oh no, doesn't
But
that
a
change the color?
napkin-
Doesn't that change your
It-
color?
Yeah.
No. That's
No.
jaundice.
Oh, that is John.
No, there's something else.
Listen,
Yeah.
we're all idiots here. We don't know
Except for
science.
me.
No.
There's no all
Listen,
of these.
no, you don't know anything. You're a
So
fool.
cool.
I know nothing about movies.
She says
Everything else is fair game.
the plot is wait, I'm gonna downvote Vex. Sorry, public downvote.
I'll come
So
back and
the plot is completely spoiled by the trailers. Totally
True that.
agree.
facts.
And there isn't a twist as you would expect. So
Facts.
there. So she judged it on both of those things.
Yeah.
That's built-in expectations. That's what I'm saying. That's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
You're putting your own personal expectations of knowing what you are going to get into because of the
Mhm.
trailer.
Mhm.
Your fault you watched it. And then
True.
also putting expectations on Shyamalan. He doesn't have to twist. If
Uh-huh.
Shyamalan doesn't want to twist, he's not a clapping fucking monkey. He doesn't have to clap. So that's just my personal opinion.
Mhm. He's not a Beatles.
Yeah.
He doesn't do the twist.
And his daughter is a napkin.
A wet.
A bloody napkin.
Oh God. Okay. well,
That's what she said, not me. You said it was
What?
blood,
No, she
sir.
said moist.
No, anemic. That's what I
Oh.
said.
Which has the blood, we
But
think,
it's-
maybe.
Okay.
anemic.
We don't.
Anemic
yeah,
wet
they bleed
napkin.
easily. It's
Vex,
not
we're
a
coming after
clotting-
you here. This
It's
is
a
a
clotting issue.
Yeah,
Let's not. We don't need to get into the medical part of it.
we don't need to bring.
We
it
don't even know what we're
into lady
talking about.
We have
So.
no idea. We're fools.
Oh, so
Somebody's gonna listen to us and be like,
Yeah.
yes, anemic has
Yeah.
to do with your size.
Right.
Mhm.
I hope they do.
somebody who throws up all the time.
If you learn anything here, it's napkins. All right. So listen, Sin's Quarter gave it a 78. That's a mid decent, if you will.
Yeah.
Says there's not the better of his films, basically. The premise was interesting. She liked Hartnett's acting, but things were a bit too easy for him. And that isn't necessarily wrong. He has the power of luck, as we have
Exactly.
predicted.
He's got luck.
Power
He-
of
He's
love.
Irish.
Well, I think really
Yeah.
what they were trying to
Is
get into is that like he was just so Josh Hartnett's character was so used to just like
Mhm.
charming people, buttering people up, just bullshitting everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Can we just say that he has what the kids would say, the Riz?
Hey, that is
Mm.
crispy.
Mm.
He's the crispy Riz.
Mhm.
He's Rizzy.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, yeah.
He's,
He's
the
rizzed up.
Rizzler.
He's the Riz.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
pay that Phantom tax. or something about Phantom.
I know all about all of it.
Ghost.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's
involved.
clearly been mewing lately, if you know. what I mean.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Cats.
we're
those
down with
cats.
all the lingo, just like Josh Hartnett in this movie.
Show.
So yeah, it sounds like Sin's Quarter was so on it, but basically just said that it wasn't her favorite of his films, and I think that there are going to be issues with this movie and people's interpretation of it, and it's probably just honestly going to be that they're going to put expectations onto the film, whether it be
Yeah.
from the trailers, from him being him, just like those things are going to be pre-imposed on this film.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
but
Sure.
I mean, and I can't blame people for that, and I can't say that I didn't do it a little bit, but I still had a lot of fun.
You definitely did.
I did. I was expecting a twist, and then when it didn't come, I was like, "Damn it, Shyamalan!
Yeah.
I wanted a twisty twist."
Damn you.
He's not a clapping
Shyamalan.
monkey.
Yeah.
But I will say, I actually might make this the most excellent now.
Yeah.
Ooh,
In the idea that he has the power of luck.
Right.
Because one of my complaints story wise was things seemed to happen too easily for him.
Mhm.
Sure.
Like him taking off a spoke off a bicycle
Mm-hmm.
at the very end there.
Mm-hmm.
That is not something you do in like 2 seconds
Pretty
in front of the cops.
Yeah.
Like
well,
even if you had to sit there and go
Yeah.
to get it off the wheel or something.
Yeah.
And there was too many times where he
Well,
would
the
just like
question-
appear places too
The
quickly.
question, like with events like that, is was it pre-planned? Like he was such a schemer. He was such a like.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
A clever dude. He's hyper OCD. Like everything was planned out. Everything was supposed to be a certain way. It's like this could have literally been something that was one of his playbook things. We don't know, but like maybe.
but it's
That
still
is-
skill.
Yeah.
But
I was
like
gonna
you
say, that's
said,
one hell of a twist.
I mean, it
that's
is.
a meta twist, like
Right.
after the headcanon, like after the fact.
Right. And I think that that's the thing is a lot of this movie does allow you to put your own thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Like it wants you to interpret things a certain way, like on your own.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Like because it doesn't spell out a lot of things. It's just like
This movie has a lot of breathing room.
it does.
A lot of him just kind of walking around looking and gives you time to kind of think about what's happening
Right.
and try to like. That's very interesting.
And what I realized in this is that it doesn't take a whole lot of effort for me to just sympathize with whomever the main character is.
Right.
Like, we know from pretty early on that he is
He's
a
pushed-
serial killer.
He pushed
Like,
a girl down the stairs.
yeah.
Yeah, but that was at least halfway in.
I kind of wish it had
I
been a
think-
granny.
God, no.
I think it was a granny.
No, it was,
No.
no,
It was the young Asian
It was a
girl.
young Asian
Oh,
girl.
no.
No,
I don't see
We watched
age.
different movies.
it's always grannies getting pushed downstairs. Though.
No, that could have
That's
been.
your
yeah.
kink.
That's not, yeah.
Yeah.
The granny.
Oh
No
no.
shame, apparently. But no, like it. Shit, what the fuck was I?
I don't know. No one knows. It's a mystery.
No, it was something profound. Deep.
Was it about blood or napkins?
Discharges. Of
No,
sorts.
no. Mm-mm.
No.
Nope. Well, anyways,
Mm.
Chris is
We'll move
not going to
on.
recall this memory, but
I won't.
you know that's we've worked our way through what the critics thought. We're sitting here with where Criticless so far is, and this is literally we're borderline like one of each. Like we're gonna not long now if we have a rad, you know,
Literally, it would still
like-
average out to a decent. It's
right?
if my mental math is right between these three numbers,
Yes,
which could be wrong.
trust that.
It's like a 52%.
right.
That's right.
I believe it.
I'm a computer.
He
I believe
made
it.
that up.
I watched it.
So we see the wheels not
literally
turning, the wheels are just going like.
Yeah. It's like an
Wait.
abacus, you know. You're just sliding this
It
little
is,
thing.
it is
around.
that, yep.
I don't know.
He keeps one of those in his mind palace.
Yes.
The
So when I'm
abacus
at
Matt's
Amongst
mind
the
palace.
public.
I can't even imagine what Matt's mind palace would look like. Jesus Christ.
We all
You're
know
gonna
there's
talk
an
about
abacus there.
Yeah,
now.
an abacus. That
Obviously.
might be the only thing in the mind palace.
That would be
it's really important.
Yeah.
People
It
lived
is.
by it.
Yeah.
For years.
It's just his abacus room.
for years.
Yeah.
At least 1 year.
So the question is, at this point, is do you want to leave? Do you want us to let you go? Not hold you hostage? Or the question is, have you not seen Trapped, but you've made it this far along? If you end up listening to this entire review without watching Trapped, please let us know because I'm extraordinarily curious.
Mm.
For someone who really just has a disregard
Looking
for
at you,
spoilers.
Hazel.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. She actually, which
I wasn't gonna drop her
yeah,
Sister
her
has
handle.
her handles.
We won't drop her handle. Yeah. But anyway, so yes, I want to know if you made it this far. If you did see it, I want to know your thoughts. I'm really curious. Or if you end up seeing this after the fact. As you can tell, we like this movie fairly well. And I'm curious to see as things chug along what the narrative is on this movie, or if it does really just stay in that decent range of like everybody's just all over the place and there's no real consistent like spot for an opinion on this movie.
Right.
And I think that is probably where we're going to be.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't surprise me. And I think that's kind of the case even with the critic reviews that we have so far with how Rotten Tomatoes works.
Which will be upsetting because I was crunching the numbers for his last couple movies.
Yeah.
Just a couple minutes ago.
In the old abacus room. I wouldn't
I was in there, I have it all memorized.
Yeah.
the little abacus.
So,
palace.
so
Oh,
what,
yeah.
did, what did the abacus mind
Most
tell you?
of his past movies
Have not
like,
been
like last like 6. No, they've all been rads. Well, okay. On the Criticless cruise.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about financially what it did.
I have no idea.
Okay.
No, that's
I thought that was
but
what
they're
the abacus
mostly
was doing.
rads.
His abacus can't do financially.
No. It just goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just literally hit it back and forth while
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sing.
Counting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. They don't
It's
actually
balls
do
he
anything.
plays with, not
Sure.
counts with.
Yeah.
So anyways, you're saying on the past few as far as what people have
They've
thought
been
about this.
mostly decent rads
Right.
with one boat.
He's not like getting
So-
most excellence, which I mean his films honestly are rather divisive in general.
Yeah.
Just because of how the twists are and how people handle his twists in general. So, but I think at the very least, I think that he needs to be commended in an age of reboots and rehashings and just everything just feeling so mass produced at this
Right.
point. I think he needs commended for an original idea. And I think this was clever that him and his daughter came up with this, and this concept is just very original and fun. And I think, good job, dude. At least from us, I
Yeah.
think it's a cool movie.
I
So-
enjoyed it.
And let us know what
So-
you think in the comments. And as always, like, subscribe, follow, comment. All of those things help us a lot, and we want to keep doing that. And if you've made it this far, I will go ahead and address for our longtime, always listener watchers. as you can tell, we are not in our typical Criticless Cast Unhinged garb. We have decided that we're just going to chill for a little bit. But if you guys want us to bring it back, or at least from time to time, maybe we'll make it a special occasion thing or something.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way to handle it. But it was just it can be a little bit of a pain making sure they're clean. We get hot and sweaty in the studio. And
I want you guys to come wear this wig.
yeah, and the wig is
Just
hot.
thinking about me.
And the headband is literally changing the shape of Chris's head.
Yeah.
So
My brain.
He's gonna have one of those baby helmets.
his brain is
like
struggling hard
flat in
enough.
his head.
That would be pretty great to give him one of those baby tart helmets.
The flatty, the cone head babies.
Only Blaine would know.
Yep, I would. So, guys, it's been real and it's been fun and it's been real fun. And I think at this point we are going to shuffle off and we will be back doing the news on Monday. If there is any news, it's been real light lately. So, but we've been getting creative, like my anime video. If you have not checked it out, check it out. I did a little anime video today.
Nerd.
So, yep, went full nerd. But yeah, check those out. And we will see you guys back here next week when we are going to be reviewing motherfucking Borderlands, which I'm super curious about.
Hell
It's
yeah.
either going to be like awesome in a really surprising way, kind of like how Transformers 1 was, or like it's going to suck ass. It's going to be one of those two things.
Like Avatar, M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, yes.
I
that
am
level of ass.
unfortunately preparing myself for that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
level.
I mean, it's always best to prepare yourself for ass.
Yeah.
That way, if it's, I'm always prepared for ass, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, yo.
Give it or take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not.
Yep. Just
the answer for Chris is yes.
Yep. Well.
So on that note, guys, always be prepared for ass.
Peace.
Let it gas.
And the